that is going to take you to Jersey Shore.
Show me what you're crying for. I'll wipe your tears on up. If you're so taking love, we'll come for you for sure. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry you over. It don't matter where you are, I'll run to your front door. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question if I'm on where we are. You could put an ocean between our love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall, I'll run it up, just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, baby, we'll make a way. You could put an ocean between our love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall. It won't keep us apart. You could build a shadows play on idle hands. I lose myself if I do. But I find my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into you. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are, you're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question if I'm on where we are. You could put an ocean between our love. It won't keep us apart. You can build a wall, I'll run it up, just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, baby, we'll make a way. You can put an ocean between our love. It won't keep us apart. You can build a wall. It won't keep us apart. You can build a you can build a keep us apart.
Oh, hey everybody. Take two this time. I thought I don't know. I had nothing to say on the first take, so we're doing this again. We're doing it live, and this time we're gonna do it with fucking Big Smash from Bet the House podcast. Once again, I believe this is the third time he's been on the show, so you guys already know him. If you don't, this is Big Smash from Bet the House, and we're gonna talk some freaking wrestling today because it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Facts. Been a minute, man.
How you been, bro? How you been?
Staying out the way. Just trying to, plant my feet in the ground, man, and stay there. The usual.
Podcasting world going good for you?
Pretty much, yeah.
What the fuck is this? Oh, okay. What's going on, Tommy? But all right. So fucking huge couple of months for wrestling nowadays, huh?
Oh yeah.
So
It's
what are your takeaways for since we're going into the end of the year? What's the biggest thing that's been happening that caught your eye?
I ain't gonna lie. And the more I sit here and think about it, I believe we are getting worked. And when
Okay.
I say that, I believe we are it might
Yeah.
be the most backwardest work, but I believe we are definitely getting worked with this whole CM Punk, the Elite situation. I think we getting worked. I
Oh,
think
really?
I think it's the shit is like right there if you really look at it. It's like right there for you to really pay attention and be like, yeah, this shit is work. Now I don't know what the outcome is or who gains what from this, but I believe it's a work. It just doesn't make sense. I believe the second biggest takeaway I got is that all good things come to an end. I believe the bloodline, this shit,
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I think it's
Careful
running
now.
this course. I mean, last night was just a fucking shit show for me. Um these guys are trying to make, in my opinion, the bloodline the NWO. And it's not always good when, one thing is taking over your whole show. That's not always good. It's good temporarily, but it's starting to become a weekend out thing where it's like, what's the bloodline gonna do this week? And last night, I don't know. I watched it several times, and it was just like a lot of guys that you are building up. You are having them take a dive in the benefit of the bloodline. So I don't know. I also think, and this is probably my last one. Free agent signings is a motherfucker. That goes for all the companies. That goes for AEW, WWE, Impact. Too much of it is starting to get on my damn nerves now. Because it's like, I think AEW is trying to right its wrongs right now by focusing more on their guys, which they should have been doing like
Right. Yeah,
a
that's what
long
they're
time ago.
doing.
Yeah, I think now they're trying to get back to focusing on their guys. And I don't know. It's been a lot of changes and a lot of hirings and a lot of firings. And now Vince McMahon might come back, which I also feel like is a work. But whatever. I just feel like next year I want to see somebody take the ball, man. Like as far as wrestling right now, nobody is really taking the ball. There's really
No. I agree with you 100%. I feel like wrestling nowadays is just it's just like so meh. It's
and we're
like
gonna
so
watch what they're doing over there, and then we're gonna do this. It's got that WCW WWE vibe to me right now,
mm,
and it's like that's
and
not
not
a
the
good
good
thing.
kind.
Yeah, because it's like y'all are losing the product, and I think, like I said, I think Tony Khan. I said this before. I think Tony Khan need to hire a team. He needs some more writers. He this doing this shit by himself shit is because he's not letting these stories, some of these stories he's doing long term, great. But then some of these stories is like he's not giving no ending, he's rushing them. It's just like even
Oh,
WWE was smart enough to get a team of writers. It wasn't just one person. So yeah, I think nobody's taking advantage of the ball right now. It's like any advantage that you have, you fuck it up the next week. You know what I'm saying? By doing something stupid. So
Why do I feel like you said the same thing the past 2 times you've been
I've
here?
said the same thing because it's like you have momentum and then you do something stupid and it's just like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, I'll give you a recent prime example.
There's a lot of them.
You have Luchasaurus turn on Jungle Boy for Christian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
What, it was like a week or two later, they're back together. Then like a week or two later, he turns on him again. Like, shit like that will piss me off. Like, if you had a momentum. When you had Luchasaurus do that the first time, you had momentum. Now we're shocked. We see it and we're like, okay, cool. You just did something that we did not expect because they were buddies, friends to the end type shit. So you just did something, and then 2 weeks later, you reverse it, and then 2 weeks later, you reverse. It's like, dude, stop doing this shit. Like, and when I go back to say that we're getting worked, I don't believe CM Punk is leaving AEW.
Absolutely.
I think
No.
they did that whole work because he got hurt. He was gonna be out for like 6, 7, 8 months. They had to do something. Did they expect it to go the way that it went? Probably not. But I believe it's a work. We'll be seeing CM Punk and Omega sometime next year, when they think enough time has blown over, and they'll do some shit. The whole William Regal shit. Like, they'll write some shit and it'll make sense, and then they'll come out and do something else. Like, I think Tony Khan just saved his ass. Tony Khan saved himself with that bullshit ass story about William Regal. Let's just keep it a buck. William Regal didn't want to be there for whatever reason. He didn't want to be there, man. Like we knew the shifting of the guard was gonna come. A lot of these WWE dudes signed these deals with AEW for years because they felt like, okay, Vince McMahon is gonna be here. We ain't gonna never get our shot. Let's go on over here. AEW look good. AEW ran into a problem, and the problem that they ran into is they had too many motherfuckers. All right, so now we seen it with the House of Black. I seen that shit coming. Like, it's just real ironic that everybody got mental health problems, and I ain't knocking nobody for mental health, but the timing just blew me. Like, Triple H get back in power, and now all of a sudden everybody is homesick, and they this and this and this and this, but you are the one that signed these contracts. You signed this shit. Nobody held a gun to your head and said, hey, sign this 5-year deal right here. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of these guys just WWE is something different, and we are starting to realize that. Triple H is, but a lot of them guys Triple H brought back.
Yeah, were they needed? I feel like they weren't that needed.
No, they don't
Like,
have
nobody-
a sense of direction. It was cool in the beginning. They had their pops. The crowd was excited. Even to me, Bray Wyatt.
But you're seeing the same shit that people were complaining about Tony Khan doing, except
even-
it's just returns.
But see, WWE has more TV time.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because everything is about the bloodline, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy when you got the bloodline on both of your shows, and that's what everybody really cares about.
Yep.
So I think a lot of times too, like, Tony Khan has a problem. He has a problem. He has to figure it out. This whole Ring of Honor shit might help, but depending on how much time he get, he's gonna be flooded trying to run 2 shows, 2 different companies, and now you got to figure out who's going over here, who's going over there. Like, he can turn Ring of Honor into his own thing, but I don't know if he's trying to keep Ring of Honor fresh in our minds by constantly having Ring of Honor matches, Ring of Honor. And he even said it himself, like, I might have oversaturated Ring of Honor on AEW. And I'm like, yeah, because stick to the pay-per-views and shit like that. But we'll see. But that's my takeaways, man. I feel like a lot of things got to change. I'm a wrestling fan, so I like seeing things. I like storylines more. You know, I like watching storylines build instead of just throwing some shit out there and then next week it's something totally different. You know, and they're giving you that, but then they're not giving you that. Like the whole, we're gonna fire Bobby Lashley and we're gonna bring Bobby Lashley back. Like it's just too much. Like let the shit play out. Like these guys are not creative anymore. You remember how it was back in the Attitude Era. Wrestling made you mad because you had to wait a whole nother week to see what was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? The Attitude Era was the greatest era of wrestling to me because it had you pumped up and ready. Like it ended in a bang, it opened in a bang. You couldn't wait for next week. You mad as hell that you got to wait a whole nother week. It was like, that's what it's like with AEW and WWE. Now it's like, okay. Like nobody ends their shows with a bang or a cliffhanger anymore. It's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I hope they really, really generate and get some shit together. I'm happy for William Regal. I think how they took him out was a little bit over the top for me, but I understand. I thought that shit was harsh as hell for him. But anyway, what are your takeaways?
Just a lot. Like for all the grievances that we have towards, wrestling and all the shit that we dislike about it. I feel like there's a lot of good things happening. For one, I think it's shedding some light on people like, what's her name? Sasha Banks. Her going to New Japan. That's huge, man.
I think she's going to AEW.
You think so? She thinks she's gonna end up in AEW, and
I think so. I mean,
get that All Elite graphic.
Again, the clues are there. Like if you're really paying attention to shit, like you guys are scheduling shows way out in January. You know what I'm saying? Women's tag team matches. She can't do nothing until January. It's like it makes sense.
So listen, another thing that you mentioned firings, right? Hirings and firings.
Yeah.
What's your fucking take on this whole Mandy Rose shit?
I think WWE is some of the worst hypocrites when it comes to that shit. Because y'all had no problem with Paige, right? They had no problem with Paige. They had no problem with Paige having threesome relations with Xavier Woods and old boy. They had no problem with that. That was cool. You wasn't trying to fire her. She's in porn with the women's belt, et cetera, et cetera. You had no problem with that. But you got a problem with someone else generating income. And this was a woman that was your champion for like a year or something. And y'all,
more than a year.
I knew something was happening because I'm like, either she finna get called up. I figured she was gonna get called up. Like, all right, she finna move on up now. Hell no. Nope. So I think if you generate your own money or WWE is not getting a percentage of that, they have a problem with it. That's what I think the issue was with them in the first place, with the up, down, and all that. They wasn't getting a percentage of it. So if you ain't getting no money off of this, you got to stop doing this. So I don't know. It's weird to me that everybody. I mean, it's her body. She ain't hurt nobody. She ain't. It ain't like she wrestling for another company or some shit. She has an OnlyFans page. Everybody has an OnlyFans page.
Right.
Like, how can you get mad? I mean, shit. It ain't like, but I think it is. They have their preferences. Look how they did China. They didn't want shit to do with China. They didn't want to bring China back for nothing, no circumstances whatsoever, because she was in porn. And I'm just like, because Triple H said it something a couple of years ago, and he was like, what if a 10-year-old kid looks up China and sees all her porn? Like, who cares? Tell his parents to monitor it or some
Right,
shit.
exactly.
Like, you can't. Once I clock out, you're not responsible for me. Basically, once I'm off the clock, what I do off the clock is my business. That's like my job going to look at my Facebook page. Like, this has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm at the job and I'm recording a video or some shit like that, it shouldn't have nothing to do with you. What I do in my off time is my business. And that's why I thought the Mandy Rose shit was just goofy to me. Like, you know, it's her business. And now y'all just probably just handed her on over to the competition, because that's generally how it goes. You know, you sit
But that's
back.
the thing, man. She don't even need.
She don't even need the wrestle.
No.
But if she loves it.
Right. Yeah, there's a difference. Like if you really love it, you'll go after it. You'll still do it. But man, she does not need it. You saw the report, right?
Yeah.
Over $500,000.
Yeah. Yeah. That's because
what is it, a month? Like, man, some people are just down bad, bro. Like I cannot believe how much money gets poured in to these OnlyFans. But at the same time, you know, good on her. And I agree with what you said, man. It's her, what she does outside of work is her own thing. And she shouldn't be, you know what I really wish they would have done? Because people tend to forget about things like months after something happened. Why didn't you just suspend her?
And that's the thing too, like I think all these goofy ass suspensions and shit just goofy. Like even with the whole elite shit. Like, if you found out these motherfuckers didn't do shit wrong, why the fuck are they suspended? Like,
they took the belt
the
off
Mandy Rose shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, why wrestling politics remind me of high school. It's like everybody got their own cliques and who they get along with and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, you're getting paid thousands of dollars, some people millions of dollars, to just go out there and entertain.
Yeah.
We care about the back, because I'm gonna tell you what WWE does. WWE takes your backstage heat, your real life shit that you go through in real life, and they turn it into a fucking storyline. You know what I'm saying? If AEW did some shit like that, AEW will probably be a little bit more better off. But WWE is ruthless. They'll involve your mama, your daddy, your family. They'll talk about your dead daddy, your dead mama. They'll say anything in a storyline. Like, and I just be sitting here like, y'all have no filter, like, at all. Like,
but it's so weird because they'll do that, but then they say like certain shit's over the line. Like you know, having an OnlyFans and shit like that. I don't understand that. They'll be like, they'll tell Randy Orton to go do a promo to Rey Mysterio saying that Eddie's in hell, but oh no, you know, having an OnlyFans, that's crossing the line. Fucking, like you said, man, hypocritical, bro.
Yeah, like some of the shit that they be doing really be pissing me off. Like, they don't be having no filter. I feel like leave the dead alone.
That's the thing. Like, okay, so my problem with that is, when can we stop fucking bringing up Eddie Guerrero constantly? Like, anytime I see somebody trying to do something, they have to pay. Granted, I understand he was the greatest of all time, but I don't need to be reminded of him every time somebody does a frog splash or the Three Amigos. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the way of, you know, keeping their name alive and all of that. That's cool. I ain't got no problem with that. But I got a problem when you do a storyline, like the whole like when you do a storyline and like the Brian Pillman shit with MJF, and or the Christian and Jungle Boy shit, and you're bringing up his dad and all this other shit. Like, I got a problem with that because
Really, why though? Why do you have a problem with that?
It would like really be hard for me if I was a wrestler and my daddy died in real life. It would be really hard for me to keep a fucking straight face because I don't know, that's like fighting words to me. That's like some real life fighting shit. Like, but I don't think I could stay in character. I don't think I could stay in character because
you would be his ass in real life.
Yeah, right yeah. Like I would really be throwing punches. Like we really fighting. Like I think to some people it's a sore spot. Some people look at it like, oh man, I'm getting paid. Just let him say this. Come up here and slap my mom, or let my mom slap you or some shit. And I forgot who it was. It was Jay Lethal. He was saying that his mom and dad and they was really into it. They was really with that shit. I don't know if my mom and my daddy will be with that shit though. I know my dad wouldn't, because my dad would be ready to hit somebody's ass back. So I think it's fun to keep the family involved. But I mean, if you're gonna mention the dead, mention the dead. But Christian went over the top to me. And it was like some of these promos just be doing way too much. Like, so I just think about it like this. Like, this is why I could never be a wrestler. I could never stay in character. It's the same thing with battle rap. I could never do battle rap because we are fighting right then and there. I'm not playing that, oh, I signed a contract so I can't have no physicality. Nah, fuck that. You gonna get your ass whooped today. Or I'm gonna catch you. Damn. It reminds me of the whole Samoa Joe and Scott Hall situation. I wasn't mad at Kevin Nash. I wasn't mad at him. Like, I don't know if you heard, but yeah, this is a couple years back. And Scott Hall no-showed a show, or he didn't show up to a TNA show or something. And Samoa Joe made a wild-ass promo about how, you know, it's people out here busting their ass for this, and then there's other people who don't show up, who can do what they want to do, and some other shit. And Kevin Nash took his ass in the back and beat his ass because shit, like, they told you to wing it. They didn't say wing it like that, though. Like, I think sometimes people just take shit too far, and that's what makes it entertaining. Us as fans, we get entertained by it, but because it ain't us.
But it, like, UFC does it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Conor McGregor does that shit. He's like, that's why your wife is in my DMs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think what you're doing is you're selling a fight. True enough. Like I said, to us fans, this shit is exciting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like he just said the whole Darby. Yeah, like I know it's a storyline to us as fans. Oh, you got to sell this shit. Conor McGregor talking all that shit, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to go buy this fight because now we want to see what dude do to Conor McGregor for talking about his wife. Or the whole Seth Rollins and
oh, you talking about Riddle? That's why.
When that shit happened,
yeah.
You ain't got no kids. You and your wife left you. You left your bitch ass. And woo, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This just went left real quick. You could tell it wasn't a storyline no more. It wasn't a storyline no more. Like, there's some real shit going on. Like, so I think it makes good. WWE is very good at that. They will, and the people involved in these storylines are great professionals. AEW, on the other hand, it doesn't seem like, because if you think about it, Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk got into it over something stupid, and Hangman Adam Page went personal with it. He put it out there like, yo, we really don't like your ass in real life. We don't like you.
That's true. I think that there's the lines that were blurred right there with that promo. Yeah, because we could say it's entertainment, but then, okay, I agree with that. That was probably taking it too far because it ended up being like real life fucking beef later on. So,
because he told his ass, like, we really don't like you, Chief. We really don't like you. This ain't a This ain't one of them storyline moments. We don't like you.
But that seemed like that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, that seemed like and part of what CM Punk said might be true, where guys went off script and just started doing their own thing. So I get it to a certain degree, like, you know, it's entertainment for us, but I just want to know how many fights have occurred backstage after these promos and shit like that, because that be the shit that be interesting to me. Like, you really sitting here letting him say this? Like, and for me, it'd be like, it ain't that much money in the world that's gonna keep here. Yeah, your fucking daddy was an alcoholic and he slapped your mom and he slapped your kids and all that shit just be a little bit too much for me. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Here's another example. Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston.
Oh yeah.
They got into a fight backstage. He called him fat. Right?
Oh yeah. Because it was, now you hitting below the belt. Like, you don't know how many fat jokes that man unheard in his life or whatever the case is. So now it's like, you know, shit like that is personal for him. So
but it's like at the same time, bro, like, you're in this business of talking shit. You think you could take it? Like, if you can dish it out, you can take it too.
Yeah.
Because he's dished out some shit.
Yeah.
You know, CM Punk has dished out some shit, told him, hey, you're a fucking bum. Like, nobody likes you. It's like,
yeah, the scrum was over the top. But I liked it though, because I felt like this is what wrestling needs. I don't want to hear about everybody being buddy. Like, this is what wrestling needs. It's wrestling.
That was the most talked about thing of 2022.
Yeah, CM Punk did it the right way. He didn't go diss nobody mamas. He didn't go diss nobody daddies. He went and said straight to the source, like, I don't like these guys. They don't like me, etc., etc. AEW could really capitalize off that shit. I'm telling y'all how I see it right now. CM Punk is still on the roster. He's hurt. I think the only reason they're going to push this shit, we're going to see this shit. It's not because you don't want to let CM Punk go for obvious reasons. You don't want to let him go because guarantee he's going to go to the competition. I mean, do you see the crowds? Do you see the pops? Do you see the shit that happens when CM Punk comes out? Like,
I will lose all respect for him if he does that.
You don't let that go. I think sometimes the attitude is worth dealing with when it's bringing eyes and awareness and money to your business. Sometimes
exactly.
Sometimes you gotta let shit ride because, like he said, I'm the first $1 million house in this company, and I think that's what pissed off everybody around him, not because of what he said, but the fact that it was true.
It was they were intimidated, like, bro.
Yeah, like this is true, and people was getting mad at Tony Khan, and I was like, Tony Khan should have definitely stopped that shit right then and there. Like, dude, this is your company. You got to negotiate with these guys sooner or later. You don't think they're going to remember how you didn't go to bat for them? Because Tony Khan didn't. He sat there with that goofy ass look he have on his face every time he do a media scrum with somebody. He's just like, I'm such in awe, you know. And for me, if it was my company, I'll CM Punk would have stopped talking right then and there. As soon as I knew what he was finna be on, oh no, Chief, we ain't finna do that. No, we gonna stop you right here and right now. Nope, we're not doing that. Because that's where I felt Tony Khan lost cool points at. He didn't stop it, and he could have. You basically told motherfuckers this CM Punk company, because CM Punk bring all this money into us. You basically told them that, yeah, this his company. Because we'd have been on to the next wrestler if he had did that shit with me.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's kind of fucked. There were certain points I disagreed with when he was like, I'm trying to run a fucking company. And, you know, bringing up Colt Cabana and him sharing a bank account with his mom, which personally I thought was funny. But
yeah. I thought that was funny. I didn't think that was malicious at all. I just thought like damn, like, okay. So
it was kind of funny, but the other shit, I don't know. I actually I'm surprised that you said what you said because I was sticking up for Punk throughout the like when this shit was fresh, right? I was like all gun ho. I mean, he's my idol, bro. Like he's sitting right
okay.
here, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen. We were all like that dude that was crying when CM Punk came back. I didn't cry, but I
I
felt him when he was crying.
I
I
was
I
there,
I,
bro. I
I
was
felt
crying.
it. I felt it in my bones. I was like, yeah, not only because it was CM Punk, but because he's he's from my hometown. So, that was the
Chicago.
beauty of it. Like, I'm a Chicago dude at heart. So that was the beauty of it. But then it was like, of course, people are going to be intimidated because it's CM Punk. And he's already got the biggest pop of the year. And all he did was, I mean, people could say, oh, it was in his hometown. Yeah. But everywhere they were going, every time I've never seen anyone pop out like that in their hometown. Like that shit was amazing. Like
That was
that
a
was a
loud.
that was a wrestling moment. Like you look back, you could put that up there as one of the biggest pops to ever occur in wrestling because we all heard it like,
I
oh,
was
it's
there.
possible, it's coming, it could happen. And then when it did happen, it was like, oh yeah, this is icing on the cake, man.
Yo, he sold out the United Center off a
Yeah,
rumor. A rumor, bro.
yeah. So that's just the kind of power that CM Punk had. And you mean to tell me, oh, I'm just gonna let that walk away? No, CM Punk is hurt right now. He won't wrestle for 6, 7, 8 months. However many months. Right now, you are sitting on a draw 4 Uno card right now. And you don't even have to pull it out right now. You could sit on it because 6, 7, 8 months, we know wrestling changes like that. 6, 7, 8 months, we're not even going to be thinking about, the fallout. We're not even going to be thinking about that. CM Punk is he's still under contract. You use that. Period. You use that chip in your back pocket when you desperately, desperately need it. You don't let him go. And especially when I'm hearing like if they do let him go, the situation is how long before he can go to the competition. And I think that's what I was hearing from a lot of these wrestlers like Malachi Black and all of that. How long, which is why William Regal got, and I was stunned by that. I was like, oh, so y'all just gonna just let him go? And then when Tony Khan gave that excuse, I was like, oh, okay. All right,
Oh,
cool.
the one where I mean, it's his son works for the company.
That might be one of the reasons why William Regal came back. True enough. But play this for instance. What's to say that WWE say, you know what? We don't see potential in him. We gonna cut him. Is William Regal gonna leave then? Is he gonna leave again then?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy for us to say that, but we know how WWE is. They don't care who your family is. They'll cut you. And then now it's like, okay, William Regal, is he going to say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Or is he going to say, all right, well, my
I'll
son.
stick around.
Yeah, my son didn't have what it takes, but, it's somebody else over here. Like, it's so many ways with it. And like I said, I ain't going to never tell nobody. I mean, you get a chance to work with your son, go for it. I just thought the timing was off. Like, here you are building something. Like, the Blackpool Combat Club was something different. It was something special. But I said this before. The thing with AEW is when you with WWE and you're in a group, they make your groups feel like groups. They make them feel like there is unity. There is a team. They're there. They're supporting. They're ringside. They're doing promos. They're together. In AEW, it's like these motherfuckers be together one time out the month. And then the rest of the time, it's like everybody doing their own thing. So you forget that these motherfuckers is together. Look at the Pinnacle. I found that shit. I'm like, y'all actually started a group, homegrown group, not homegrown, but sort of kind of like this might work. This might work. And then we barely saw these motherfuckers together. Then the Blackpool Combat Club, they started out, everybody had belts. And then everybody don't got belts. And then everybody do. I like it just when you think about the New Day, when you think about DX, when you think about the Shield, when you think about Nexus, when you think about all these groups, what do they have in common? They were all together. Like AEW has a stigma of putting motherfuckers together one or two times and then going head on and, you know, moving them around, moving the pieces around. Like even with the Blackpool Combat Club stuff now, you don't hear them mention Daniel Bryan at all. It's like you hear everybody else. You say these three, it's us three. You don't hear them mention Daniel Bryan. So I'm interested to see. I don't know if that's on purpose or that's by design or that's for a storyline. I don't know, but it's gonna be real interesting with these storylines for next year. I really see growth amongst both companies, but I think in a couple years you could see an AEW WWE show come together. You could
really.
I would honestly think that you could. Now,
I mean, you probably.
Yeah, but see, now it comes down to the particulars of, you know, because the way Tony Khan talks, the forbidden door is open. It's always going to be open, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's cool. But I believe before it's all said and done, they're going to shock the world and put something together, even if it's like a one-time thing. Like they'll never do this shit again. You only see this one time ever. For the only time, you know what I'm saying? And you know how much money they would make off doing some shit like that?
Oh my God, dude. We're talking.
Like, we talking dream matches up the ass. We talking. Because here's the thing that kills me, and this is how movies and shit do so good. They'll tell you, oh, this is the last one, or this is the only one. You'll never see this again. And then people will go out there in droves and watch it because they feel like I have to be there. If I'm not, I'll miss it. I have to be there. And then it's like, okay, then in like a year or two, you could turn around and say, oh, we're going to do it again for the last time. We know we told y'all this was the last time, but this really is the last time.
You're literally talking about The Rock and Cena.
Yes. And that's the thing about it. Like, they suck us in and we go see the shit, but then it's like the Usos, we know this shit ain't gonna last. We know Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are gonna get back together eventually. We know this. Like, we are just waiting, and that's what's intriguing. Like, I think you have now. See, take NXT for example. They're trying to bring some credibility to NXT. I'm starting to see what they're doing. So much that they had the New Day when Dolph Ziggler and all these other guys, they were going out competing for NXT belts and all this. And I was just like, okay, they're trying to make NXT feel like a big deal and not just a minor league situation, you know. And you had to, especially after, you know, NXT got beat by AEW week after week, which was expected though. I don't think anybody out there knew that there was a chance in hell that NXT would beat AEW. But why is that your measuring stick? Why is NXT your measuring stick? You should be trying to match up with the best and see where you rank with them. You know, which is why the Friday night shit was so cool. But it's like the production values is different. You see how WWE, they've been doing it for years. They know how to put on a show. Right. AEW is still getting used to it. I'm still laughing at the whole Dark Order shit when they first started. Like that shit was so funny to me when these guys was like punching air and punching, and I'm just like, y'all came a long way. AEW has came a long way from that, but you still notice the mistakes and things like that. WWE not so much, and you know that's why they were saying like this guy that AEW signed, he's supposed to be like real top dude when it comes to production and all of that. So I'm interested to see that from a wrestling fan's perspective. I'm anxious to see that. But I got a question for you. What are you looking forward to for next year? Like what do you think what are some of the things that you want to see happen that has not happened or has happened? What do you want to see next year as a wrestling fan? What do you want to see? It could be somebody becoming champion. It could be somebody forming together. It could be a storyline. It could be whatever. What would you want to see as a fan from both companies? Like what would you want to see happen?
Man, that's a very, very great question, man. Honestly, god damn. I guess I just want to see everybody go on a clean slate. I want this year to be a fresh new start for everybody.
Mm.
You know, this year has been very, very convoluted and all over the place and drama filled. I just want next year to be fucking chill and be more about the wrestling than the backstage shit. And that's me coming from a fan, all right? Because I feel like with all this backstage shit, we take away from the wrestling a lot. Like we could have a killer show, killer pay-per-view, best pay-per-view on planet Earth, right?
Yeah.
But it would be overshadowed by somebody bringing up something that happened backstage. And I guess it's not wrestling. It's wrestling media and wrestling fans. I hope for next year we can just focus on the wrestling. That's what I want.
Exactly. And I was going to say the same thing. But I also, for AEW, I want the records to actually matter.
That's another thing.
Like, I want that shit to actually make sense, because this year they have the rankings have been so confusing to me, and it's like, well, how can they be in this position and they lost to them, or they beat them and they still like I want that shit to feel like when they first started, I was like, okay, they're on to something. I like this. And then it just went haywire, and it just
they're non-existent. I haven't even looked at. Remember when they used to come up with like rankings every month or so?
Yeah.
And they would tell you I don't even see that anymore.
Yeah, I don't see that. And then another thing is politics. You got to learn to forgive and forget, man. Turn that shit into business. There's no way we them boys should not be allowed on network TV.
Yeah.
You know, it was something stupid that he said years ago, but I've heard shit. Hell, Hulk Hogan is back on TV after all the shit he said. Like,
right.
I just think it's just like you said, everybody deserves a fresh start, a fresh slate. Like if you're gonna do these things, you know, use it to your advantage. Use it, make a story out of it. I don't know. It's just you got to start using everybody to their disposal, to their potential. You know, I know guys like what's the name? He just what is his name? He said how important winning the United States belt to him would be, and he was gone for a minute, but they brought him back. Ali, Ricochet, all of them. I see how, you know, you're finally giving these guys a chance. Great. But it's like you give them a chance and then you bury them. But then you give people like Dexter Loomis and everybody else, ample amount of TV time. And for the love of goodness, can we please keep Jeff Jarrett off TV? Like, I understand Jeff Jarrett is a hell of a dude when it comes to wrestling. He's a hell of a wrestling mind.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I still feel like Sting works in 2023 is because they treat Sting like a main attraction.
Yeah, he only comes every once in a while.
Sting doesn't be on every show. He doesn't dominate TV time. They don't make him look bad. This is what I feel like Jeff Jarrett should be. I want to just have an actual company who are more about their young guys than their vets. I mean, yeah, what Chris Jericho did this last week wasn't amazing.
That cool? I felt like that was awesome.
That was fucking amazing. Now, if we had more people like him, like, because I thought that was, but you know, Jim Cornette was saying like,
oh God,
that kid will probably never, he'll probably be on Dark or something. I'm like, no, you have to take advantage of this now.
Yeah.
Now you just had somebody that just beat Chris Jericho on live
Jericho.
TV. Like,
that's not something you take lightly, bro.
Yeah, now you have to take advantage of it. So that's what I hope. I hope AEW takes advantage of this shit. They got the House of Black. Hopefully we're gonna see the House of Black versus the Elite. I would love to see that. This best of 7 series, it's different. I like it, but I kind of think all the matches should have had like a different gimmick each match. I'm glad because the first, what is it, 3-1 right now? The first 4 matches was just like regular matches doing the same shit each match. So I kind of felt like now, okay, we're gonna add gimmicks, we're gonna have stipulations, shit like that. Okay, fine, great. Y'all should have been doing that, but I like it, and I hope that we get more like that. The whole intergender matches, that was cool. That was different. It's like now y'all got the ball. Y'all can't be afraid to take shots now.
They need to be different. They need to be different. If they want to be anything of a competition towards WWE, they got to try doing different things. What do you think about the game coming out?
I am interested to see it, man. I'm interested to play it. I cannot wait for it to come out. You know what? I actually loved WWE's last game, the latest one. I actually loved that. So AEW, I am a big No Mercy, WCW Revenge fan. Those were my games growing up.
Right.
So if you have an opportunity to do that, and you have the opportunity to create that magic, I am looking forward to playing it. Because I think I'm going to do a review on it when it finally drops. I'm going to do a review on it. Because I am a game head, man. I'm actually working on setting up a Twitch and all that because I like playing games. So that's fun for me. But I think that's going to be interesting. It might be because I heard something different. I heard that they're not going to release a game every year. I think they were saying they're just going to update it.
That's basically what SmackDown was. Remember the SmackDown series, right?
Yeah.
It was shut your mouth, here comes the pain.
But I think I think they were saying like they're just gonna it's only gonna be like one fight forever, and then every year they'll like update the rosters or update the graphics and things like that. It's gonna be just the same game. And I was like, you know what? That might actually be dope. But again, don't drop the ball. Don't drop the opportunity. Go for it.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they came out with different ones. What the fuck? Like, if you were to, let's say, hypothetically, you were a developer, AEW Fight Forever is a cool name. What would be the next title for your AEW video game? Like, I like Fight Forever. That's cool.
Fight Forever. Shit. That's a tough one.
Holy shit.
I can see that. That's a tough one. I don't even have an answer to that one.
Like it had to have been something from like a promo. Somebody said at one point. You know what? If CM Punk comes back, you could actually put him on the cover and then have it say AEW Best in the World.
I like that. I like that.
You know, like come on,
I like that.
something
Take
like
advantage
that.
of it.
Yeah, man. But you got anything else, man? Like what?
I do
I'll
not,
reverse the
man.
question back to you. Like, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah,
I think I answered it. I want what you want. Make wrestling great again.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, make it great, make it make sense, and stick with storylines and give us a big payoff. And I actually hope that this Elite CM Punk thing is a work, because it's a lot of money that could be made off of that. You just got to know how to do it.
100%, man. Well, I'll tell you what, we're almost reaching the hour mark here. I think I'm going to call it a show. But man, you know, this is your third time on the show. I'm pretty sure you know the drill. At the end of the show, I'll have you plug everything. So go ahead.
right.
You got the floor, bro.
My name is Big Smash, Bet the House Podcast. We talk about everything. Always betthehouse.com, like it says in the back. You can find everything. Instagram, Bet the House Podcast 2020 and Bet the House Podcast 2022. Go subscribe to my YouTube. I need some subscribers. All right. Bet the House Podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe. We trying to reach 500. Help us out. It's just like, it's free. You ain't got to pay for it, you know. And go buy some merch. BetTheHouseStore.com. Shout out to my man for always, you know, I told him the other day, I'm like, we got to talk some wrestling. And he hit me with a date. So that's what I like about this guy here. He is, he's not Hollywood. And he got damn near one of the best wrestling platforms I've ever heard. So
I appreciate
y'all need to appreciate this brother right here. And it's time somebody gave him his fucking flowers, because he really knows fucking wrestling. So we not even going to play with him. And another thing, when I was going through the shit that I was going through, this man reached out, and you show love to people that show love to you. And that's what it is. So shout out to you, brother. I said I was going to come on here tonight. Your platform is dope. And anybody that thinks so differently, fuck them. And that's how I'm going to leave it.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And we're gonna end it on that high note, guys. So you know the drill. Give him a follow, please. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, man. Like 500 subscribers. Let's get him to 1,000.
Man.
All right. But that's it, guys. Have a good night. I don't know if NXT is over, but if it isn't, enjoy NXT. I'll get you guys in the next one. Peace.
Junior watching, I'll be on my ex-strippers, new killers, shot, tell them, just on round up,